I'm Dr. Susanna Brown and my colleague,
Dr. Janet Towell.
and today we're going to talk with our colleagues, Dr. Ariza and Dr. Basalis and Dr. Musgrove, about the packets that you have. You've already received them. We left them in San Jose, and in that packet you should have 2 pieces of cardboard that have masking tape binding. Inside are blank white pages that we already stitched together for you, and 2 pieces of decorative paper. It could be any type or style of decorative paper, any colors as well. So this is the supplies that we left for you, but you'll also need to have some type of glue. We prefer to use glue stick, but you can use any type of glue, and also a pair of scissors so that you can trim some edges if you like. Now, to take a step backwards, in order to prepare this project for your students, you will need to gather some cardboard, and I have some scrap pieces of cardboard that came from the trash. This is packaging from a cardboard box. You could use cereal boxes or any type of cardboard packaging. You could have your students bring those into your classes and cut them to size. You can make this book any size that you like. So I have some sample there. You'll also need some tape. I use regular masking tape, but any tape will work. We also will show and demonstrate 2 different ways of stitching today. So we have some extra white paper. Again, you can use any color or any piece of paper will work. Scrap paper works great. And I just took some scrap string. For younger students, we're going to show how to use the hole punch, which basically when you push it into the paper, it creates a nice round hole there. For older students, we're going to demonstrate a stitching technique using a blunt needle and some scrap paper as well. Are there any questions so far?
Could you hold up the needle so I can see the size that you need to sew the book together?
So any needle, any sewing needle will work and any thread will work, but I, just for sake of filming, I used a bright color so you could see the contrast on the paper. And I've used a needle that has a large eye, and that is because sometimes it's very difficult for students to thread the needle and get the string to go through the hole. So a large eye needle works great. But this needle is not sharp at the end, but if you have needles, and that's the only one that you have that's sharp, those work just fine too. I just prefer a blunt needle for the safety of young students.
And one more thing, younger children can use plastic needles as well that are bigger and yarn. So, there's a lot of different ways to
Oh, I didn't
do
know
it.
they had plastic needles. Okay, that's great.
They have a jumbo eye plastic needle for like kindergarten, age 5, and it has a very large diameter opening in the eye of the needle where the entire yarn can go straight through.
So will you be talking about how to go from making the paper to putting it in the book?
Yes, that's the
Great.
next step.
Great.
And there's no need for a thimble because it would be very easy.
That's why I use a blunt needle, because as you know, our students have a tendency to push extra vigorously, extra hard with a lot of power, and you wouldn't want the child to, push right into their hand and harm themselves.
So the thimble is that thing you put
It's
on
a
your
metal.
finger
Or
to
plastic.
prevent
Puncturing from the needle.
poking a hole in your finger.
Or giving you strength.
And that's why if they're very young, I recommend using the hole punchers, because they would have, I don't know how a child could really work and hurt themselves that. They have to get their finger into there.
Okay.
So it's very unlikely that they're going to harm themselves with the hole punch. So I prefer to use the hole punch with young students.
Now with older students, you can use the push pins to make the holes too, so they're a little smaller. That works as well.
And I suppose if the students were not able to manage the hole, then the teacher could make it for them.
Absolutely. Like we did for you in the workshop,
Yes.
we had it already stitched, cut, prepared for you. For sake of time and also for ease, with the other concepts we were discussing.
So all of this material is in the bags that we left in Costa Rica for you?
You have in the bags only decorative papers pre-cut cardboard that's been bound by masking tape, and a packet already stitched together, and a couple of crayons in there for young children. You will need to have glue and scissors as well.
So now looking at your cardboard, is there a special way that you will take the masking tape and put that together?
Yes, I'm going to demonstrate that in the next
Excellent.
step.
Thank you very much.